All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. The more I look at Pat Robertson stepping down from the 700 Club, the more I realize I have to talk about it. And I want you to hear him in his own words. I want you to hear him say that after 54 years, he's stepping down. And we're going to talk about why it's so interesting that he says 54 years when it's entirely verifiable that it has not been 54 years. But he says it not once, but twice in his sign off. And some people might say, well, he's an old man. No, we're going to get to why he said 54 years. It has everything to do with what Jesus really is, the Son. That's why Christians worship on Sunday. So let's listen to Pat Robertson, and then we'll really break this down. Couldn't be any more obvious. Christianity's sun worship. Here we go.
After, I think, 54 years of hosting the program, I thank God for everyone that's been involved, and I want to thank all of you, but I want you to know that at this point I'm stepping down, and I want to thank publicly some of the people that have been so important to me and to all of us. Our Vice President of CBN News, Rob Allman, the Director, Chris Peak, line producers, Sandy Engel and Laurie Stewart, our floor producer, Angel Vasco, our studio crew, Jimmy Jenkins, David Lauro, Bob Roman, and True Taylor, our lighting director, Andy Howard, our scenic director, Lynn Garrett, our audio operator, John Hines, and our wardrobe, very brilliant woman, Sherry Wade. So I just thank all of them, and I thank Terry, and this is the last time that I will be hosting the program, although I'll be available.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me jump in here for all of you and say, you're not going to be a stranger here, because every month we've had people who've loved following you and Wendy, and so every month that voicemail Q&A show, you're going to do one of those with Wendy.
I told Gordon he will be taking over as host, but I also have said, I will, in case I get a revelation from the Lord, I'm going to call you and I'll come in as as whatever it takes.
Well, we want your perspective on things. I mean, I think people have such regard and respect for you, Pat, for your position.
I'll be there, and I'm also going to be parachuting into some classes at Regent University and giving
that school is going. You're going to have a huge job as you just try to manage the growth that's going on there. So that's your next big focus.
Well, the same thing here, but it's been a great run, and for me, I think this program is the 54. We've been the 700 Club. I've been hosting for 54 years, and we have some of our staff.
So, I mean, there can be no mistake about it. He opens up with 54 years. He says 54 twice there. He wants you to think that it's been 54 years. But what's amazing is if you look up the first ever episode that he hosted, it was April 1st, 1966. And how funny that it was April 1st, because April 1st has a direct connection to October 1st, the day he stepped down. And the connection is April 1st is the 91st day of the year. October 1st is the day leaving 91 days left in the year, which means April 1st leaves 274 days left in the year. October 1st is the 274th day of the year. Again, let's put all this together. When you write out Son, it equals 54. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, where the Christians worship on Sunday, the 7 days of the week named after the 7 classical planets, which includes the sun and moon, Sunday and Moon Day, Monday. Now, we know who really likes 54. Again, if you're new here, gematria is a simple practice of coding numbers into words. Sun equals 54 when you just take the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z, the 26 letters, 26. This practice goes back to Babylon. It's part of Jewish mysticism known as Kabbalah. The Jesuit order, or the Society of Jesus, is very much Jewish in its origins and operates within the Catholic Church. And clearly, Pat Robertson, well, as will become very clear, is a member of this club. The next most simple cipher to understand is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. And in that cipher, when you write out Jesuit order, it equals 54. Important member of the Jesuit order in this nation was John Carroll, who established the first Jesuit university, Georgetown, when he was 54 years old in January of 1789. And the Jesuit logo, if you're not familiar with it, it is the sun with the letters IHS for Isus Hominum Salvator. It's the Jesuit order's logo, the Society of Jesus. And with that most simple cipher, again, when you write out Isus Hominum Salvator, it is 274. The 700 Club began on the day leaving 274 days left in the year. Pat Robertson steps down from it, the man who's always been the face of it, on the 274th day of the year. And, you know, you look up Isus Hominum Salvator, HTTPS, the Loyolite Diaries, that's in tribute to Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits. I mean, just even look what just comes up in the quick search. You know, the Jesuits in sun worship, right? The Jesuits in sun worship. And again, I mean, it's also transparent, right? Does it even really need to be explained, just worshiping on Sunday, the history of the Catholic Church, bringing the pagans together, and those who worship the Son of God, who had names other than Jesus throughout history, you know? But remember, you guys, just using the most simple cipher, if you write out God's Son, how Jesus is thought of, it's 93, you know, Nazareth, his home, is 93, crucifix is 93, science, which is completely corrupted by the Catholic Church. Science says the sun is 93 million miles away. Again, the first chapter of the New Testament, Matthew 1:1, is the 930th chapter of the Bible, 930. Jesus is crucified in the Bible between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., 9-3. Science says that Jesus' crucifixion took place on April 3rd. That discovery came out in 2012. That's the 93rd day of the year. Again, you learn this simple code of letters and numbers, you just see right through all of these biblical details and how the entire thing is number ritual, Kabbalistic, Kabbalah. And again, Genesis 3:22 tells you right there that's all about Kabbalah. That's why they mention the tree of life in Genesis 3:22. In Kabbalah, the physical model's the tree of life. There's there's 22 paths, 3 columns. On those 22 paths, they're on the 3 columns, 3-2-2. And don't forget, ancient mystery religions equals 3-2-2, just like Abrahamic religions is 3-2-2. And look what Pat Robertson's birthday is, March 22nd. Wow. What a chosen, guy to represent Jesus, part of this ongoing, Kabbalistic cult, reinterpreting information, duping people, doing it by a code. You know what I mean? But again, if you're new here, there's 4 ciphers you really want to know. The alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, and then the reverse alphabetic order. And when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, the rules of numerology, Robertson is 54, you see? So he's saying that he's been doing this for 54 years, but the reason we know that's false is because the day that he did his first broadcast was April 1st, 1966. That means April 1st, 2021 was the 55-year anniversary. The 55-year anniversary. So he's been doing this for 55 years, only a year off, but it's not hard to see why he's saying 54. 54 is very important to the gang that's made people believe in things like Jesus and also coronavirus. It's the Society of Jesus behind both things. Again, it's the Society of Jesus that set up this world the way we understand it. The U.S. government, the school system, the thing that's made us all believe in authority. And with regards to April 1st being the 91st day of the year and him stepping down at age 91 on the day leaving 91 days left in the year, the Society of Jesus is 91, right? 91. What is 91? 91 is the 13th triangular number. Where does 13 fit in with the Bible? Obvious, right? Jesus and his 12 disciples, 13. The sun and the 12 constellations, 13, right? The Illuminati loves 13. The Illuminati, created by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, 13 used in so much of their symbolism. The Illuminati means in the light. What creates light in this world? Naturally, the sun. With regards to this beginning in 66, important number. Christianity, the Protestant Bible, ends with the 66th book. Remember, when you write out New Testament, the Christian section of the Bible, it's 42 and 66, right? When you write out math, it's 42 and 66. The Christian teaching begins with Matthew and the 42 generations to Jesus. And 42 also comes up in the 66th book of the Bible, Revelation, the concluding book, where the beast rules for 42 months, which you learn about as you learn about the number of the beast, right? Number of the beast, 66. The number of the beast is also the number of a man, mankind, 66. God makes man on the 6th day. God regrets making man in Genesis 6:6. This is why, no doubt, the 700 Club began April 1st in 66. Not to mention it's April Fool's Day, right? And that's what the Society of Jesus takes the world for, fools. That they'll believe anything as long as it comes from an authority and it's conditioned into their brain at a young age. It's so obvious that this is how you exploit humanity. You do permanent brain damage at a young age with beliefs and authority. And again, some of us are blessed enough by, I would say, the true Creator, which doesn't give you any books or put any names in your head like Jesus, just gives you a brain to think, a body that's capable. But I saw from a young age that school teachers were full of shit, Sunday school teachers were full of shit, news people were full of shit, politicians were full of shit, sports games were full of shit. And again, you guys, the reason I am the person who is here every day for 8 years straight calling out what's going to happen before it happens and showing you who's responsible and by the code is because of using my God-given faculties and not letting man tell me what is God and what's true about God and what's true about this world. I never let anybody else do my thinking for me. I noticed from a young age people were full of shit, including my own parents. More so my mom. My mom was the religious one. And again, anytime I'd question her, she didn't have a good argument for anything. All she'd ever say is, well, that's what my parents taught me. And I thought as a child, I thought, well, who cares? Does that mean that your parents were right? Doesn't mean anything. And again, just most people don't have that ability. They're so conditioned to believe everything that's been forced on them from a young age that they have to believe every last thing that comes from every authority. No, that's not true. You should only think, not believe. You should think, and you should be able to determine if something is true or not. No one can determine that Jesus is true. You have to believe in that. And that makes Jesus, in my opinion, irrelevant. Irrelevant. That is the word to describe Jesus, a name that's impossible for the man that supposedly was. Think about that. Why do they have to reinvent his name? And again, we know why they reinvented his name. You learn this simple code, you realize these numbers are really important to people. Jesus 74, Cross 74, Messiah 74, Gospel 74, Parables 74, all the same numerical encoding. And again, the Bible's a book full of 7 and 4. Read Revelation. 7 this, 4 that, the 700 Club. 7 plus 4 is 11. It's 11 in numerology. Numerology, the master number. When you use numerology on Jesus, his name is also 11. Revelations 1:21, the square root of 11. Jesus' return in Revelation. All of this stuff is math. We were talking about how math equals 66. 66 is the 11th triangular number. Again, before Jesus, there was Kabbalah, there was numerology. These things are related. The entire Christian story is a creation from this set of knowledge. That's why, again, you listen to ignorant people and believers, that they'll leave comments that just expose themselves, but they feel like they're so smart as they leave their ignorance behind, thinking they've proven something. They'll say, how can you talk about these things and not believe when these things were created in the Bible? It's like, no, lemming. They were not created in the Bible, lemming. The Bible incorporated these things because the same people that came up with these systems and these codes, they're the same ones that created your belief system that you've allowed to, warp your mind. And again, you guys, Pat Robertson, stepping down at 91, I'd encourage everyone to look into his book that he released in 91, The New World Order. And again, there's a lot of truth in this book. I think if the world would have read this book in 91, we'd be better off. But what he does in this book is he makes it seem like the New World Order is going to go after Christianity, which is a laughable joke. The New World Order is Christianity. The New World Order is the Society of Jesus, the Jesuit order. That's why we're on their calendar, which is synced up with the life of Jesus. So it's an entirely laughable premise in here, and I guarantee you that's because he's a shill. He's a shill for the fake religion, and this is what the New World Order does. They put the truth out in front of people's face, but they distort it a little bit. They make it not quite right, and they give you a false premise like the New World Order is going after Christianity. No, there'd be no New World Order if it wasn't for Christianity. The same entity that is the New World Order is the Jesuit order, the Society of Jesus. And this is how they operate every day, using their calendar for their rituals. Did I forget to mention that Robertson, when you run, I might have brought it up already, but just in case I forgot, Robertson also has the 54 in it, and it's got the 126 as well. Remember, the Templar motto, their long motto, equals 701, which is the 126th prime. When the founder of the Jesuits died, Ignatius of Loyola, he was replaced 701 days later by Diego Lainez, the 126th prime. John Carroll's got that 126 in his name. The former superior general of the Jesuits who just died by the numbers, Adolfo Nicolas, he's got the 126, the 54, 72. He died on the day, leaving 225 days left in the year. Well, watch when Pat Robertson goes, he'll die by the code as well. I mean, that's what they all do. So look at this early history blurb right here. In 1960, Pat Robertson, the son of former U.S. Senator, oh, wow, he comes from government. And what's our government controlled by? The Jesuit cabal. U.S. Senator Absalom Willis Robertson purchased the license for the WTOV TV channel 27, like the 27 books in the New Testament. Matthew equals 27 in the most pure. Channel 27 in Portsmouth, Virginia, Virgin Mary, D.C. between Virginia and Maryland. Unrelated to the current WTOV TV in Steubenville, Ohio, which had ceased operation because of poor viewership. Blah, 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 rename this. But look at that. The station began broadcasting Christian programming to the Hampton Roads area on October 1st, 1961. How about that? So on the day leaving 91 days left in the year, the Society of Jesus, 91, the 13th triangular, Jesus and the 12 disciples, the sun and the 12 constellation. I mean, it's just, and also, you guys, the year 61, right? The year 61. Christian has the 61 in it. Also 101, like the day that it began, October 1st, right? 10/1 in 61. Christian broadcasting. And realize what Christianity does to its people. It tells them to ignore knowledge, right? Just believe in what's in here, this book, right here. You don't need to know about that magical, numerical wizardry or what's going on in astrology. Again, they teach their sheep, as Jesus would tell you to be. And listen to a Christian, they'll say, no, it was a good thing when Jesus told us to be sheep. Okay, sheep. Okay, sheep. It's a good thing to be a sheep. You know? The Son of God in the book. Told you so. But again, they tell you not to know things, right? Don't know those things. Those are evil. You don't want to know about those things. That's just all witchcraft and sorcery. Even trying to understand what these witches and sorcerers doing makes you a witch. This is the way they think, right? Like ignorance is good. Ignorance is strength. Might as well be 1984, the slogan from 1984 might as well be one of the main slogans of Christianity. Ignorance is strength. But again, here's your Christian network, sets up on 10/1 in the year 61, and it doesn't end there with the 61s. Church is 61, Jesus is 61, cross is 61, Christmas is 61. 61's not an arbitrary number. 61 comes from sacred geometry, and it's the number that's related to God. In Jewish gematria, God equals 61, you see? Jesus, the Son of God in the Christian teaching. 61, the reason it connects to God is because in sacred geometry, the flower of life is made out of 61 overlapping circles. Think about how the Jesuit order's logo is a circle with the sun in it. 61 overlapping circles, and they say within that shape, you can create all the shapes that represent all of creation. So it's like God is in all things. That shape represents all of creation. God represents all of creation. So 61 is connected to God through sacred geometry, which is also older than Christianity. And 61 is the 18th prime number, right? Sun is 18 as well in the base ciphers. It's also 27, like the 27 books in the New Testament, the story of Jesus. It's also 9. Holy Bible's 45 forwards and backwards. 45 is the 9th triangular number. Holy Bible 90, 953. Miraculous catch. Notice Jesuit orders got that 153 as well. But Sun has the 18 in it. 61 is the 18th prime number. Remember when Roger Maris hit 61 home runs in 1961, the baseball star on the very Jesuit Yankees? New York Yankees equals Society of Jesus, forwards and backwards. But notice IHS, the acronym that the Jesuits use. IHS, Isus Hominum Salvator, 18, right? And again, the day the network launched, October 1st, the same day that Pat Robertson now steps down, the 274th day of the year. And he began speaking on that network on the day leaving 274 days left in the year, on April Fool's Day. It's not hard to see who controlled Pat Robertson. And again, it reminds you the way the New World Order works, you guys. They will give you a lot of truth, but they will misdirect you on key portions. Pat Robertson's book exposes really what the New World Order is in a lot of ways, but leaves out the whole Jesuit part, which is a gigantic piece. Still, if you didn't know anything about the world and you read this book, it would be a good start. But if you believed all of it, you'd be thinking like, man, this New World Order is going after Christianity and Jesus. And that is the exact opposite of the truth. The New World Order would have never had a chance in this world if it wasn't for religion. I won't blame it on Christianity because religion was here before Christianity. But again, you look at the minds of most people living today who could do something about the New World Order. Why won't they in this nation? It's because of Jesus. It's simply because of that. They won't do anything because they believe that the world is gone. It's the devil's playground. It's taken by sin, and all we can do is wait until the return of Jesus to come save us. And Pat Robertson, you can look up Pat Robertson's quotes over the years and, what he said after 9/11. But again, it's belief that has destroyed the world, and it's belief, again, the word with lie right in the middle, it's beliefs that allow people to continue to be exploited by authorities. Period, end of discussion. There's no two ways about it. So, and by the way, you guys, these ciphers up here, if you're the person who thinks, well, there's 4 ciphers, so maybe you can just manipulate, make anything equal, no, it's not that way. Isus Hominum Salvator is 266 and 122 in reverse. Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope. This is the Jesuit motto. He's the first Jesuit pope, and he's the 266th. And guess what his name equals in Gematria? Pope Francis 122, right? And, like the 85, that's important because that's a huge number with the Templars. The Jesuit logo has the Templar cross in it. Templars 85, Christ is 85. Again, all of this stuff is so cleverly thought out. Christ 77. In Luke, there's 77 generations to Jesus. In the New Testament, where it begins with Matthew 1:1, there's 42. So, and again, why is he saying that he's been on the air for 54 years, multiple times, when he's clearly been on there for 55? Again, Robertson's 54, but there is also something to 55. 55 is not arbitrary. Look at Pat Robertson in the Most Pure Cipher, and realize that's not his birth name. He wasn't born Pat. Pat Robertson is 55. That's how long he's really been on the air for. But he wanted to say 54, and I understand why, because that's the number that's about the sun and the Jesuit order and who this is really about. But 55 matters. Remember, here's a guy that's a little bit different than Pat Robertson, but you probably know his name because he's also put through the TV screen, through the mainstream, right? Marilyn Manson. Look up his song, Say 10. Not spelled like Satan, spelled like Say, S-A-Y-T-E-N. It came out around the same time Trump became president. Remember when Marilyn Manson was getting the headlines because he did the music video with Trump, dead, bleeding on the ground? I think Trump's head was actually removed in the music video. Around the same time, Kathy Griffin, the comedian, beheaded Trump. And remember, Trump, Jesuit pawn, just like all these politicians are. Went to Fordham. But Marilyn Manson, his song, Say 10. If you write out Satan, it's 55 with the alphabetic order and 10 with the alphabetic order and rules numerology. And when you add 1 through 10 together, it equals 55. 55 is the 10th Fibonacci number, and it is the 10th triangular number. So there's a powerful relationship with these numbers. And what's interesting is when you write out Fibonacci equals 55. And the 10th number of the Fibonacci sequence, again, is 55. If you write out numerology, it also equals 55. And that's how these people operate every day with numerology, playing God. Again, in Kabbalah, it says God created the world with numbers, letters, and words in the first book of its foundational text, the Sefer Yetzirah. And numerology 55, Fibonacci 55, 55 directly related to 10. Satan is 55 and 10. And when I first began this research, this did not make sense to me. This did not make sense to me because I knew that 10 was associated with God through reading about numerology. So I was like, why? I was like, well, I guess that means whoever encoded the language, to them, that's their God, Satan. But when I learned reverse gematria, I said, well, look at that. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, God is 55 and 10. I said, okay, now that makes some more sense, but that's interesting. It's more hidden in reverse. So, Pat Robertson's a man of God, but God is different things to different people. And remember, you guys, with regards to God, in the most simple cipher, it's 26, right? 26. How many letters in the alphabet? 26. This study of letters and numbers comes from Hebrew. In Hebrew, the four-letter name of God, the Tetragrammaton, equals 26. If you haven't read my first book, Letters and Numbers, the first chapter is called Why Is There 26 Letters in the English Alphabet? And then I connect spirituality, mankind, our anatomy in 26, and what we know about the stars in 26. And again, they say people are made of stardust, right? Show how all of this stuff is clearly connected. The sun, supposedly the nearest star. But again, you guys, it goes to show. These people on TV, they are in the cabal. The cabal, its origins is from after the Crusades, when the Catholic Church brought back the knowledge from the Holy Lands to Europe. And when they got that knowledge, including Kabbalah, Kabbalah's real big with 322. One more time, that's Pat Robertson's birthday, March 22nd, 322. But when the Knights Templar brought back this knowledge, that's when all of this stuff went into motion, starting to understand what the rulers of the past were aware of, the knowledge they had. Then the Catholic Church, already running the show, incorporated it and said, wow, I guess we can take our game even further. And from that time up to the present, the rest is all history by the numbers. Again, you go through all of recorded history from the time of the Crusades up to the present with this knowledge, you'll just see it every single time. You'll be like, wow, that's why that's the supposed date. That supposedly happened on that date. And again, you just witness it in real time, how every single day these rituals are executed. And people are, the people in the mainstream that so many people trust, it's just so obvious they're not what they present themselves as, So, by the way, when you write out 700 Club, you see the 177, the 69, the 84. Look what happens when you write out the Jesuit order. 177, 69, 84, right? And he wrote this book here about the New World Order, right? New World Order, 177, 69. The Illuminati, established by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. Illuminati's got the 69 in it as well. So, Pat Robertson making sure you know that he's in the club. 54 years, even though it wasn't. All right, Truth Seeker. I think we'll leave it there for now. And again, I encourage all of you Christians to wake up. You guys are not awake. Anyone subscribing to the name Jesus is not awake. You're not. Period. End of discussion. I'm sorry, you guys don't have an argument. There's no Jesus. That's a made-up name in a mistranslated book that was printed out to control people. These people mass produce propaganda to control people, from the Bible to school textbooks to what they now do with radios, magazines, newspapers, nightly news, computer screens. That's what they do. They mind control people from a young age with cheap tactics, exploits of humanity. And most people, they just can't overcome what's been done to them. They can't overcome truly the trauma that's been done to them. That's pretty much what Jesus is in everyone's brain, a trauma. Believe in this or you will be punished. Believe in this or eternal punishment, eternal hellfire. That's a trauma behind your belief system. You weren't taught to believe in these things for the right things in most cases. You were taught to believe in them out of fear. And that's how the New World Order always operates, controlling your mind with fear, whether it's terrorism or killer germs or eternal hellfire. If you can't accept it, I'm sorry. It means your brain's too fried. You got too much trauma as a child, I would assume, And if that's the case, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry. I don't live my life in fear. I just go out and use my God-given faculties every day to try to help people, help the world, and end real evil and real terrorism, real tyranny. That's what I do every day. Not try to belong to some cult, regurgitate what somebody told me when I was 3 years old. That's not intelligence. Something most people don't have. So anyway, we'll leave it there, you guys. And until next time.